Welcome to the Real Estate Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Lipsky of Break of Day Capital. I talk to leading experts to discuss a wide range of subjects to educate investors on best-in-class practices to build legacy wealth and positively impact communities. Let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Lipsky with Break of Day Capital. Today on the pod, we have my good friend, Joseph Shalaby from eMortgage. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, we have launched the BODC Multifamily Impact Fund. Invest with a trusted operator with a track record of success. Our fund offers diversification, risk mitigation, tax benefits, and stringent acquisition criteria. If you'd like to learn more, head over to our website at breakofdaycapital.com. So tell me a little bit about yourself and eMortgage.
So I'm the founder CEO of eMortgage Capital. We're a national mortgage banker broker. We're licensed in 48 states. We have about 900 loan officers. We got about 50 offices nationwide. And every loan officer basically operates their own mortgage companies. So you got a lot of mortgage companies you know, like, and trust and currently work with, currently operate under our ecosystem. So the easiest way for me to frame what we do is we are in the business of creating other businesses, creating other mortgage companies, creating other mortgage empires.
Very cool. So do you provide like, besides all the back office, is there like a lot of training? Is there like, teaching them better systems? Like how do you do it?
Great question. We're a complete end-to-end ecosystem. So that's training, coaching, onboarding, HR, IT, legal, compliance, audits, licensing, technology, marketing, branding, any sort of total infrastructure support. Support's a big thing, especially because we're a decentralized model. So people are, in Philadelphia, people are in Michigan, people are, in Florida, wherever they are, and they just need support all the time. So we have, daily trainings and coaching calls with various sectors of the space. We have tons of people in-house that are always like working on new strategies for people to market. We have just so much support when it comes to helping people build their businesses. We have like compliance support in-house, IT support in-house, legal attorneys in-house. We have so many different operators. The operations team is all in-house, processing's in-house, funding's in-house. Our compliance support team, we have multiple various sectors of compliance support. So it could be like social media compliance. It could be like, licensing compliance, licensing teams in-house, HR teams in-house, onboarding teams in-house. So support, basically this whole building is all support staff of all the outside agents. And then we have a ton of, outsourced support to help our loan officers as well. So we're really an incredible support ecosystem, as well as all the marketing and licensing that we give to our folks. So we have a lot of marketing that we provide to our loan officers, a lot of marketing training on that as well. And then we do a lot of systems development and systems training for them and systems support in-house.
I love that. That's really cool because it allows you to focus on what you do really well and outsource the other things so that, one, you keep your overhead lower. You have a team of experts that work for you. I mean, it's quite a lot like what we do for real estate investing.
Yeah, pretty much. Our mantra is basically to allow loan officers to do what they do best, which is bring in the business. If you start focusing on, how am I going to deal with this audit? How am I going to deal with this lawsuit? How am I going to deal with this regulatory issue? You start to get off your train. If you stay on, this is for me because I'm a top producer. I'm laser focused on production, laser focused on scaling. If you start telling me about a state audit, which we always have, every state is always examining us. They call it an exam because it's a protocol of every state. So that means if you're in 48 states, we have at any given time 5 to 8 state audits at all times. And then we're dealing with complaints. We have 900 loan officers. So there's always some upset person about something. So if the broker is dealing with these compliance issues or these complaint issues, like they're not thinking about sales. Because what's more important is compliance. Because if they don't take care of the hurdle, they're out of business. Right. Now, what's going to happen is after they take care of that hurdle, they don't want to go back to selling. They're like, oh, I got to deal with this again. I don't want to sell. What if this turns into a complaint? Like I don't want to deal with this again. So they really are off that I'm like a locomotive train. I'm going at 100 miles an hour. I do not want to deal with the drama that comes with, dealing with this company. I mean, I love sales. That's what I do. That's what I do best. I'm the CEO of the company. I'm the founder of the company. Like my partner, all operations. You talk to him and he's dealing with a lot of the stress of the organization. So in one sense, it's almost not even a fair partnership because I'm doing all the fun stuff. I'm doing the podcast tours. I'm doing the social media. I'm doing like the skits. I'm over here doing TikTok dances and he's over here dealing with regulatory audits. It's like, it's really not fair, but we play into our strong suits, right? I would say, he works harder because, he's dealing with the harder stuff, the harder issues. And that's something that a lot of people in our industry, they all think they could build a great company, but what they don't, because they're great salespeople, what they don't realize is they're terrible operators. I realize my strong suit, I'm just great at sales. I need a great operator.
It'd be funny to see, put him in this seat and he might say the same thing. He's like, I'm going to do all the fun stuff. He has to do the stupid stuff like TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah. No, but he doesn't want to do this stuff. But he would like to do it, I'm sure, because he does have that higher stress. But thankfully for us, like we're in a position where, we now have a lot of compliance people. We have a lot of, we have a VP of ops. We got, a manager of the funding department. So he's managed to delegate it, but he is definitely dealing with a lot more stress. Matter of fact, I hate even dealing with any of those people. Like I don't even want to talk to them because once I get involved in the operations, like I'm off my train again. I'm over here thinking about the problems that could come to me because I'm the broker of the record for the company. And I do oversee at the end of the day, I have to oversee everything and everything kind of funnels up to me. But I do my best not to deal with like the intrinsic issues because, first off, it's just going to mess me up. There's so many of them. Yeah. And when you have an organization of, I think we have like 2,000 people plus, I can't even count, that work for the organization total. So you can imagine the HR nightmare and the payroll nightmare and like all the time we're running payroll and we pay every day.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, every great company, you need a visionary and you need an integrator. And if you have two integrators or two visionaries, it's just really is hard.
Work.
Yeah.
It won't work. So we definitely play into each other's strong suits, right? And I'm trying to learn more how to be an operator. He's trying to come into my space more, how to understand the lead space and the marketing space. And we just want to play because we do have to master those. But for me, that stuff gives me a headache. For him, maybe he's starting to like it more because he's at LeadCon this week. So maybe he's liking leads now. He's liking the marketing space a lot more.
So talk about like 3 foundational keys to your success so that you can be successful in life and be successful in your business.
Well, I mean, I would say there's 3 things that are instrumental in eMortgage Capital and everyone's success here. The number one thing is our number one pillar is service. We serve one another. We serve each other. We serve our vendor partners, our lender partners. We serve our clients with all our heart, all our might, all our soul, because that is the foundation of this organization. It's like serve, do God's work. If you do it, He always does your work. That's an absolutely imperative for success within this organization. We tell people not to chase money. Not to chase money, but chase the opportunity to serve. Because as long as you serve, the money will follow, the success will follow. I can guarantee it 100%. Yep. The second thing is community. Everybody within this organization is part of the EMC community and our clients are part of your community. And what we really try to establish within this organization is that your client is not just a client. He's part of your community. It's part of the third and most instrumental thing, which is relationships. Your client is part of your lifelong relationship. You are the physician. He is the patient. So if you can make that relationship last a lifetime, what you'll see is that $5,000 that you made in commission actually is $100,000. Every client that you have is worth 6 figures. If you can monetize the client because you delivered such an incredible service to them and created a great experience for them, they will now come back to you with all their transactions, but not just their transactions, their children's transactions, their church members' transactions, their friends, their family, their community. So every client is a lifelong relationship, and relationships are our third pillar. They're everything. The reason why we are where we're at, because when you come to eMortgage Capital, you're no longer just a loan broker, loan originator. You are an entrepreneur. You're not just setting up. You're not just going to do loans.
Right.
You're now setting up your practice. You're now going to be doing loans for and we sell every kind of loan product out there. We don't just do conventional. We don't just do FHA. We don't just do VA. We don't just do commercial. We don't just do USDA. We do everything. We do anything that's backed by real estate. So you can imagine the phone calls that we get. Oh, I need a commercial loan. I need a, FHA loan. I need whatever. If it's asset backed, even chattel, we actually do chattel too. Some chattel products. We have a solution for pretty much anything that your client has, and because it's all about building the relationship for the client. If you could provide and say yes, and you could provide service, because it's not about the money, it's not about how much work you put in trying to get them that commercial loan. It's about providing that lifelong relationship.
Yeah, I love your three key foundational things that you talked about. When you talk about the lifelong relationship, that's so true. So many people focus on the short term and what they're going to make on that first transaction or that one transaction. It's a long game, and if you look at it that way, that cost of acquisition, it's the payoff is 10 times 100 times. It's insane because of the referrals, because they're using you again and again, and their families are using you. So right on point on that. There's
actually been studies that show that one client turns into like 18x if you can monetize it correctly. And now with the advent of AI and keeping in front and center of their clients, sending them post-closing gifts, and just sending them newsletters, sending them emails, sending them like happy holidays, happy whatever, sending them postcards, sending them Christmas cards. That client really, you stay top of mind. Like you're always in their face because you've built out a post-close ecosystem strategy that provides value, newsletters, yada, yada. So they're always remembering you.
I'm curious, within your system, how many touch points do you want to have every year with your clients, and what does that post-close look like for you guys?
So I always encourage our loan officers and myself to always hit every holiday. And I'm talking every holiday. I'm talking Valentine's Day. I'm talking, New Year's, Christmas, everything. Just remind them, hey, I'm top of mind, stay top of mind, and send out a monthly newsletter of some sort, that provides some value. And then, what we do, and we do a lot with every time a client closes, we send a gift as well. It's a post-closing gift. So, it could be like a cutting board, it could be knives, it could be whatever it is, but just something to let them remember you after the transaction's closed.
Yeah, I really like the monthly newsletter is so important. I think a lot of people, are not consistent with that, and it's top of mind. You could talk to that person. Hey, my next mortgage, I'm going to go with you. And then you don't reach out to them in a few months and they just talk to someone else about a mortgage. They're going to go with the person they just talked to. So staying top of mind is so key.
It is. No, your clients aren't loyal unless you make them loyal, because they're getting inundated with and berated with solicitations. So if you think that your clients can be loyal just because you had a great experience one time, it's impossible. How are they going to remember? You have to stay top of mind. You have to be friends with them on Facebook. You got to like their posts. You got to send them happy birthdays. You got to make sure that they're following you on Instagram and Facebook and friended you and liking your posts, etc. So you got to be engaged as much as possible, or else they're not part of your ecosystem.
Almost all real estate investors need a mortgage. Very few put 100% down. So what are some of the mistakes people have made when going trying to apply for a mortgage?
So a lot of people have the misconception that they need to put down a lot, right? 20%, 30%, whatever it is. Actually, if you're buying a FHA loan, for instance, if you're applying for an FHA loan and you want to buy a 4-unit property, you only need to put down 3.5% to buy a 4-unit property, which can possibly cash flow, not maybe in California, but like in every other state outside of California, that will actually pay its mortgage. You put down 3.5%, get 3 tenants in there. You're now living in your 1 unit for free. People think that they got to put down 20% and liquidate their cash in their bank account just to fork up their first investment. That's not at all true. There's so many products out there, even conventional products, where you can put down 1 to 3%, 3.5%, and get yourself into an investment opportunity. So the biggest misconception is that you got to put down a lot of money. 20% is not the truth.
Yeah, I think that's huge, particularly when you're just starting out. You typically don't have a lot of money to put down. And so when you're able to minimize that, it's a little higher leverage. You've got to really understand that market, do your homework. You can't just jump into it. But if you've done your homework and can use leverage the right way, it's a beautiful thing.
The other misconception is that you need income to qualify. Actually, business owners who just have bank statements can qualify just on bank statements. People who just have cash, like Bitcoin millionaires who don't even have bank statements, can just qualify on cash. Just 20% down. We have DSCR loans. You can just basically put down 20%, and if the rental pays for itself, that's all you need. Or we even have no income loans, completely no income loans, just for the people who only have cash. As long as you got a good credit score, you can get a loan these days.
Yeah. So looking back now, what you've accomplished over the years, what is one thing that you wish you knew 20 years ago before you got started in all of this?
When I got started in the business, I wouldn't accept technology or embrace technology quickly. It took me a long time to really embrace innovation. And right now, like, I embrace innovation as soon as I hear about it. It's like, as it's a theory. I wouldn't embrace innovation until it was like forced upon me when I started the business. Now I embrace innovation literally, like when someone's like chatting about it or talking about this pilot coming soon. I'm like, put me on the pilot. So my biggest thing now, and for anybody entering the space, is like adapt quickly and be an early adopter. Early adoption is crucial right now, especially in this rapidly changing pace of AI. AI is really like causing momentous shifts, and it's causing it quickly. But be an early adopter. Don't be an adopter when you have to be. Don't be and if you're a late adopter, you're extinct.
And so one last question. So adopting all this technology, obviously, as a business owner, you only have so much time in the day. So how do you implement that? How do is it your integrator that's doing all this, or how do you get your team to try these different things?
So I delegate quickly, and I delegate as soon as it comes to mind. If I have an idea, like, it needs to be delegated out quick. I mean, I'm talking so quick. Like, I had an assistant, she was sitting in another office. I moved her into the office with me because my mindset is like, idea came, I need it out. Like, so delegate as quickly as you possibly can. And I'm talking like, idea comes to mind, write it down, start working on it, implement it, get it off the table, like scratch it off your list.
Joe, thank you so much for coming on. Wealth of knowledge about business and mortgages. How can listeners find out more about you and your company?
At Joseph Shalaby on every platform: TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, YouTube, everything at JOSEPHSHALABY, or hit us up at emortgagecapital.com.
Awesome. Thanks again. This is Gary Lipsky signing off. I'll be back next week with another informative episode on the Real Estate Investor Podcast.
Let's go.
To all of our listeners, thanks for joining us. And if you like this episode, please head over to iTunes or Stitcher and like, subscribe, and leave a review, as it will help us reach more people. And if you'd like to learn more about what we do at Break of Day Capital, head over to our website at breakofdaycapital.com and sign up for our newsletter and fill out our investor application. We'll talk to you next week.